Hi everyone, I'm Daphney and I own a company called Fern Connections. Today I want to talk about something that's really, near and dear to my heart. People come to us all the time because we do matchmaking, right? And we do matchmaking, we're very inclusive. We work with a lot of different people, right? And so I just want to talk about something that we don't talk about a lot. And that's what we do when our date coaching and our relationship coaching. To me, now I like both, right? I'm a little bit biased, a little bit partial, right? But I just want to say that for me, I always tell people that I wouldn't match people if I couldn't, coach them, right? And I really, really mean that. And I think that a lot of times people, they come to us for matchmaking, but what they really need is coaching. And I think for me personally, I just want to put this out there that I think, most people need coaching. If you've been, if you haven't dated a lot, if you, had a really bad breakup, if you, came out of a really long marriage or a relationship, if you're just like, jaded because you're like, what the heck is going on out here, honey? You need coaching. You don't need matchmaking. Matchmaking is, for people who are healed, who are ready to go. And let me tell y'all, I'm going to just say, I'm going to say this just because I know this for a fact for my business. I'm not talking about anybody else's company and statistics out there for dating. I'm talking about my company, right? For my company, I'm going to say that 75% of the people who come to us need coaching before they can be matched. And I know you're saying that seems like a lot of people, and it is a lot of people because that's the case. People really need, more, date coaching and relationship coaching before they actually get back into relationships. People think that when you come to matchmakers, that there's something wrong with you. You're not matchable, but that's not really true. I'm going to say that for most of us, and including myself, we all have garbage. We all have heartbreak. We all have trauma sometimes in our lives, from past relationships and past experiences. And we don't think about that because we think, it's been some time, I'm doing better. But until you really get into it, honey, you really don't know. Because even for myself, I've experienced, I thought I was ready. I even went to a therapist. The therapist said, oh, girl, you're ready, right? But I wasn't ready. And let me just say this too. And I said this on my podcast, when I was talking to the Sisters of Sobriety. And if you haven't seen that podcast, please go, watch it. It's out there everywhere, pretty much. You can find it. But the thing about this is that, we all need help, right? We all need to be able to get to a better place. And we all even if we don't think we need it, we do, right? So, I just want to say this because, I hear these wonderful stories. People always want to know the statistics of how successful we are with matchmaking. But let me tell y'all, the most, successful, heartfelt, meaningful, sincere, and just, the stuff that makes my heart so happy, right? Is when people come to me because of coaching and they found their person or they found happiness or they found confidence, whatever that is, right? They've gotten back out there, with the advice that we give and the help, the steps, that we walk through when we go through, a coaching session or coaching sessions, right? And we have several of them on our website and you can go check them out. We try to keep things as affordable as possible because we want to be able to be inclusive, should I say, right? But let me just say this. Those are the stories that are the most meaningful for me. I love matching people. I think it's wonderful. And then I love coaching them so they can build something with someone, right? And to me, that's where the real work comes in, is that coaching part to build something, that coaching part before you even get to matching so that you can be ready, because sometimes, we don't want to admit it, that, we think it's not me, it's you, right? But a lot of times it's us, honey. It's us. We are the ones who need the work. We are the ones who need to get our hearts right and our minds right, and our attitudes right. Because sometimes, we just think it's everybody else. But and I always say this, what's the common denominator, right? If every time you get into a relationship, it goes wrong. If every time you get in a relationship, someone dumps you. If every time you get into a relationship, honey, Whew, y'all know what I'm saying. It's like, so what and who is the common denominator in all these relationships that don't seem to work, right? And let me just tell y'all, and I think one of the biggest things is that we give up too easily, because we want this instant gratification that doesn't necessarily come, right? And then we, some of us want to, if everything is not checked off the list perfectly, that I can't date you, honey, because something may be wrong with you, but not me. But I'm just saying, right? So there's all this stuff that keeps people from, really being in serious relationships. And I believe, and this is just what I believe, because I'm doing this all the time, every day, right? This is my job, my profession. I believe that a lot of it has to do with us. It's not the other person. Now, sometimes it is the other person, and that's cool too. But a lot of times it is us. And we need to look within. We need to, assess, reassess. We need to evaluate, and see, what am I doing? Why is this not working? I like to ask people, as scary as it is, why did this not work for us, right? Why do you think this didn't work? What could I have done differently as, a person who was in a relationship with you? Now that's scary, but, it's something that I think holds us accountable to the fact that sometimes it really is us. So let me just say this, because, this is something that I'm very passionate about, because, I don't talk about it a lot, but it's something that's really important to me. And I want to be able to help as many people as possible. So, check out our website, check out our coaching section, section, should I say, because this is the stuff I believe. This is what I believe again, right? That keeps people in relationships, that, makes relationships work, right? Versus you trying to stumble through and trying to figure it out and trying to, be cautious and not make the same mistake that you made the last time, honey. You don't need to do all that. We can help you with that. I can help you with that. You don't have to worry about, trying to figure it out all by yourself, right? And trying to be perfect and settling and compromising in ways that you shouldn't, because you're afraid that you may make the mistakes, because you already know, honey, that you are the common denominator. But the fact of that is that you do know, which is good, but you also need help to get you over the humps so that you can be the best dater you want to be. So I'm just going to leave it there and say, check out our website, and if you have any questions, feel free to send us an email, send us an inquiry if you want to. But I just want to say, for me, I'm going to say it again, I wouldn't match people if I couldn't coach them.